Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. This is your angelic horoscope transmission for the week of May 10th through May 16th. That's Mother's Day on the 10th, Sunday. Don't forget Mother's Day. Through Saturday the 16th. These are your daily angels, your guardian angels through the week. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. Your angel this week that comes to you is the fiery, merciless angel Puriel, who comes to you with his message of judgment. He is the angel of judgment. And the aspects of judgment are celestial fire, terrestrial fire, and solar fire. Those are the three main attributes. He has a very powerful message for you this week. All right. Now his theme, Puriel's theme for the week of the 10th through the 16th is read the testament of Abraham to find what you are looking for concerning us. We reveal to you through Zohar that mortals live the same life over and over again until heaven brings them to perfection. When we mutate humanity's DNA, allowing mortals to live another life with new experience, these are prequels and continuations of the Book of Raziel given to Adam. There is a book given to the pure immortal race of angels before Adam is made, who are the sons and daughters of God, who marry within the pure angelic race rather than lowering themselves to cohabit with the daughters or sons of mere men. All right, now this is directly channeling the mighty angel who is fiery and merciless and pitiless, known as Puriel. There's many permutations to his name, but that's what a lot of people know him as, and he's real. You can find him in the Testament of Abraham. All right, now Zohar has a lot of information about time and about the fact that death is something that is simply a tease. It lures you in. And as you are lured in, then what is the outcome of that will be the birth of your soul. It's the being born again, the birth of an immortal soul from the mortal soul of the body. A body is a soul, but it's mortal. To birth your immortal soul from your body, it's like you shed the skin. It's like a snake sheds its skin when a person dies. And then the soul is refreshed and able to, and clean, and able to then enter into the heavenly realms. And if they're not able to do that, if they're not able to be cleansed and have the second birth, the spiritual birth of the Father, then they have to go back and be born of the mother again, the flesh, and be brought to a higher state of perfection so that they can eventually ascend into a higher state. That's how this works. And the fact that Jesus Christ is the deliverer is the fact that he is the Christ, the Messiah, the serpent, the snake, which is the worm, or the, of course, wormhole, which is the pineal gland, which takes you to another dimension. And it's also, this entire serpent is known as Metatron, whereas Christ himself is the deliverer through death. It's like the person who who pulls you into the world, be it a midwife or a doctor or whatever it is, whoever the person is. That's the deliverer. Okay? The first one you see when you're going to the new world, because he's pulling you in. That's what this is about. Now that's all found in the Zohar, and you can read it and you can find it, because the Zohar isn't written in time. And that's why when Puriel speaks, he speaks in the present, because that's the immortal way of speaking. And it's not that one has to be so concerned about correcting other people. People need to correct themselves, and that way they can enter into the kingdom. Self-correction is the goal, not correcting others. Now for the message from the mighty Archangel Michael on Sunday, Mother's Day, on the 10th. Remember, don't forget Mom. May 10th. Okay. His message for you, Michael, he says marriage laws bifurcate into provisions for royal bloodlines and commoners. There's different rules for royalty and different rules for commoners. Commoners can get away with more. Royalty cannot. Okay, Archangel Gabriel on Monday, his message for you is political parties unleash right brain symbolism through art to combat laws set in place by the merciful Father God. Now these messages that are coming to you from your archangels are gotten by the astrological information of each day that presents. And remember, although the heavens are set, what you do here on earth will dictate what is done in heaven, because there's two sides of every coin, and things can be positive or they can be negative according to how you deal with it. So that's the difference between someone who's born again, someone who's not. Someone who's born again takes the responsibility, doesn't blame it on the heavens, but works with the heavens. And those who are not born again are under the strict law of the heavens, and there is no salvation there, because they have no responsibility. And if a person has no responsibility, they cannot go to the next level. Only those who are responsible can go to the next level. Now on the 12th, Tuesday, the Archangel Camael, beware thoughts of vengeance or retribution, for the days are venomous and fearful. But rely instead upon Christ, who leads you through the waters of the dreadful sea. Again, here you're seeing he is the deliverer through the birth canal, if you will, into a new life. And again, these things are on 7 different levels. Everything's written on 7 levels of understanding. Always remember that there's no such thing as an external enemy. And always remember that a friend here on earth is just an enemy you haven't made yet, because they're aspects of yourself coming at you to try to bring you to perfection. There's only the will to bestow and the will to receive. And everything else is just you. Nothing else. All right, now the Archangel Raphael on Wednesday. The many and various frequencies of light radiate ever new information that can be used to create your life anew. So that's kind of how Tetragrammaton, or light, shapes you each day. Remember, all these things are written in ancient books. There is nothing new under the sun. Almost everything that you've ever seen creatively, you can find in the Bible or the Talmud. All those stories are in there. Read it. Or in the Zohar. All the stories are in there. Read it. In these books, it's where everything comes from. And they're ancient. And since there's no such thing as time, there wouldn't be a word for it if there was no such thing. But because time happens simultaneously, all at once, and we are everywhere all at once, and whether we're dealing with local or non-local realities, no one can really claim anything per se, because everything is happening now. The eternal now. Archangel Metatron on Thursday, his message for you is stern Levant religious systems use laws set in place long ago to combat more modern, liberal, go-green, Venusian, religious, or spiritual systems. Remember, these are gotten from the daily planetary facets. So they change. Everything changes. On the 15th, we have the Archangel Uriel, Friday. Generational differences become apparent with might makes right attitudes, attempting to justify aggressive arguments to overcome established legal systems and enforcement of conventional laws. So here again on that day we're going to have a pretty harsh energy where what's going to win? Something that is established or something that has more actual power? We'll find out. That day is going to be, you know, when an irresistible force meets an immovable object, so to speak. Archangel Cassiel on Saturday, the 16th, liberal ways of thinking find solace and adjudication in peripheral and distant expressions of individuality in many and sundry venues. Now, what that is talking about, what the Archangel Cassiel is talking about here for Saturday, is that there doesn't seem to be a lot of room at the moment for liberal ways of thinking. Liberal ways of thinking are being sort of feel strangled by or contained by, you know, laws that have been on the books forever. Again, these laws simply need to be carried out, adjudicated. They just simply need to be, you know, they can be negotiated, but if they're just simply, if the laws are executed, if they're just carried out. These laws are very strict for everyone. For example, those that want to put, you know, Levitical laws in place, and all the laws of the Torah, I'm not saying it right, but you understand. These laws, if you want to apply them, you know, they say that if your child strays from the faith, your child should be stoned to death. They also say that if you don't keep the Sabbath holy, which in the Old Testament or the Torah is on Saturday. So if you keep Sunday only, then you're to be put to death. So these laws are there, and you know they have to. But then, of course, they're sort of adjudicated, or shall we say, negotiated, rabbi to rabbi, in the Talmud. And when one argues with another one, and they play pranks on each other, and to test these theories, and that's all it really is. So you either have to, you just stay calm and in each moment, it's not what makes you safe. You know what feels right. You know it feels right because, again, there's no such thing as time, and according to the Zohar, you've done it all before. It's all just like in the Matrix, deja vu, right? It's just all deja vu. And if you're having deja vu, that means you've done it before. If you've dreamt about it, that means you've done it before in some other life, in a previous life. And you're in another life and you've done it all before. And again, the Zohar says you've lived the same life over and over till you do it right, and then you get another life, as Puriel says. It's what it says. All these things are ancient teachings. Everything that Einstein ever came up with was in the Zohar. That's where he got it from. So if you want to be a genius, you study the Zohar or you read the Talmud. If you want to be a creative genius, read the Talmud. If you want to be a scientific genius, read the Zohar. It's all in there. That's where everybody gets their ideas from. Just like Stephen Hawking, he changed his position on whether or not radiation or information can come out of a black hole. He changed his position. First he said no, it could not. Then he changed his position when he was proven wrong. So these scientists, they get their information from these books. They're taught them as children. Didn't some group saying, you know, Mother Mary comes to me speaking words of wisdom? Gee, you know, they listen to prayers and things their mothers read to them. And that's where they get their information from and their creativity from. So this is a fitting message for Mother's Day. And of course, moms want to, you know, encourage their children. And there's nothing wrong with that. But before things get out of hand, we have to remember from which everything comes. Now, we're going to go over the important planetary facets for this week, this Mother's Day special. On the 10th Sunday, we have a Venus in conjunct Saturn. That's challenging. So you might have Taurus and Libra having a bit of a problem with Capricorn and Aquarius. On the 11th Monday, Moon opposing Jupiter. That's going to have Cancer individuals perhaps having a problem with Sagittarius individuals or Pisces individuals. And not a smaller problem like the in conjunct on the 10th, but a bigger problem because it's opposing. It's a harsher, you know, it's a drawing a line in the sand kind of a thing. Now on the 12th Tuesday, Mars ingress Gemini. With this facet, you have a time here where the planet Mars enters into the sign of the twins, Gemini, and that could cause a quicker pace with thinking, heated thinking, angry thinking, vengeful thinking. So be aware of that. Okay, especially people who have their Mars in Gemini or their Mercury in Aries or Scorpio. You want to know where people's Mercury is. You want to know, if you want to know how they're thinking. If you want to know how they're feeling, you got to know where their Moon is. If you want to know how they're thinking and what their strategy is, you know, in competition, then you got to know where their Mars is and their Mercury. Okay? So Mars ingress Gemini, there's going to be a lot of anger and a lot of imaginative ways to get back at people, a lot of vengeance. So understand that. On Wednesday, the 13th, Moon sextile the Sun. That aspect has Cancer individuals being friendly to Leos. And on the 14th, Thursday, Moon trine Saturn. That means Cancer individuals are pulling in alliances and calling in markers, so to speak, with Capricorn and Aquarius individuals. On the 15th, Friday, Mars opposing Saturn. Here you've got Aries and Scorpio going against Aquarius and Capricorn. On Saturday the 16th, we have Venus trine Neptune. When Venus is trine Neptune, we have Taurus and Libra individuals allying with Pisces. Okay. Well, this is your weekly angelic horoscope transmission from your weekly guardian angels and Puriel's overview and weekly theme. It's going to be quite a week. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. We'll see you next week.